And good evening, everyone, and welcome back into the Butcher Athletics Center. We are on the campus of Shepherd University in historic Shepherdstown, West Virginia, bringing you women's and men's basketball action as the Shepherd Rams play host to the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats. The women's game wrapping up with Wesleyan getting the win 62-51, and we are just about 4 minutes away from finding out our starting lineups and getting the tip and the action underway for our men's game. Should be a good one as Wesleyan comes in 3-2 overall, 1-1 in the Mountain East Conference, while our Shepherd Rams are 4-1, 1-1 in the league. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Glad to have you aboard on this Wednesday evening. Great evening for some college basketball, and Matt, really looking forward to this one. When you look at the numbers, you got a couple of teams that are playing pretty well in the early going of the season and should match up well.
Well, first of all, is there a bad night for college basketball? The answer to that is no. But yeah, two teams playing very well. Shepherd, again, we said this before the Charleston game we had here. Shepherd playing, I think, better than a lot of people expected. A very young team, but a very deep team. So I think a lot of questions coming into this year on how well that depth would play. And over the last 6 years now that I've covered the Rams, and Justin Amlick in his 11th season, I'm thinking this is one of the deeper and most dependable benches he's had in his tenure here.
Well, and as a result of that, they've been able to get off to a fast start here at home. An 81-73 win over Millersville, followed up by a 66-60 victory against Gannon. Then came a 78-68 win over a very typically strong Virginia Union team. The only loss so far for the Rams back on November 17th. Again, right here at home against West Virginia State, 88-80. But last time out, a game we were at on November the 19th, it was a 101-93 victory against the University of Charleston. The Rams really had a strong effort that night.
A strong effort indeed. Again, especially offensively, scoring over 100 points. This is a team that 100-point game did help this number, but a team that's averaging 81.2 points a game, so 81 points a game, giving up 76 points a game. So that's about a 5-point differential right there. So a team that is scoring the basketball pretty well. If you're in the Mountain East Conference, you need to be scoring 80 points a game if you want to be competitive. You look at the Wheeling Jesuits, the West Liberties, the Fairmont States. Those are teams that are going to put up 80 at least each game. So if you're Shepherd, you got to like that you're being able to put up on average about 80 points a game so far in the early part of the season.
Now, Matt, remember how that one played out against Charleston. The first about 10 minutes didn't go well for the Rams, and yet they were able to mount a rally, actually lead at the half, and then pull away a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, so imagine how many points they would have gotten in that game if they would have had that first 10 minutes. Again, it took a while for them to even crack that 10-point mark, which it took just about 10 minutes to crack that 10-point mark. So could have been a much bigger game offensively, but Coach Namath will take 101 points every day of the week.
Meanwhile, for the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats, they got the season started with a couple of victories against Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference teams, beating Westchester 80-72, and a win over Kutztown by a pair, 74-72. Then came a loss at Ohio Valley, 72-58. A win at Wheeling Jesuits, their lone conference victory, 78-60. The final in that one, but back on the 19th, it was a loss against West Liberty, 80-71. So that means two of the last three have been in the wrong column for the Bobcats, and head coach Jack Merriweather hoping they can turn that around and get a road victory here tonight. Meanwhile, for the Shepherd Rams, really hoping that they can continue to play well at home to start this season.
Yeah, and it's big for them because they will go on the road so much here, not only in the near future, but throughout the rest of this season. All six of their first games are right here at were right here at the Butcher Center. It ends with this one. They'll go on the road to Glenville State on Saturday, so they need to take advantage. 5-1 in your first 6 games, all at home. That is a good way to start your season for the Shepherd Rams, no matter what season it is.
Well, we hear Patty Alter, the voice of the Shepherd Rams here at the Butcher Athletics Center, as he welcomes everyone in and gets ready for a look at our starting lineups. And we will take a look at those lineups along with him. For the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats, again, their head coach is Jack Merriweather, assisted by Daniel Wayne and Tom Cotole. All right, here comes that starting lineup for Wesleyan, and that is Todd Clay, a 6'3", 180-pound junior who will start at guard. Also getting the starts, Dalen Lee, Lee will be a guard. He goes at 6 feet 7 inches, 205 pounds, a freshman out of Toronto, Canada. Also getting the start is Luka Petrovic, a 6'6", 205-pound junior, also starting at guard. And then the forwards will be Dusan Vicentic, a 6'9", 225-pound junior out of Belgrade, Serbia. And then it is Fred Bronsted as a forward, goes 6'6", 215. The senior is out of Holbæk, Denmark. So there's your starting lineup for the Bobcats, 3-2, 1-1 in the Mountain East Conference. Now for the Shepherd University Rams. They have had the same starting lineup through each of the first 5 games, and looks like that will continue into Game 6 as Thomas Lang, a 6', 165-pound junior, will start at guard. Derek McKnight is a 6'1", 180-pound senior, also starting at guard. Also at guard, a 6'3", 220-pound senior, Devin Smith. Starting at forward will be Malik Sanders, a 6'6", 175-pound junior. And starting at forward is 6'6", 200-pound senior, Winston Burgess. The Rams under the direction of 11th-year head coach Justin Namalik, assisted by Brian Lewis, Trip Lowe, and Jordan Barbina. There you go. Lineups have been introduced, and we are just about ready for the play-by-play as the Shepherd Rams and West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats battle on this Wednesday night. Looking at the standings early on in the conference, Shepherd at 4-1, 1-1 in league play, while the Bobcats 3-2, 1-1 in league play. So that makes this an all-important early game for one of these two teams to kind of take a step up in the standings.
Very important game, and I'm interested to see how Shepherd adjusts to the height of West Virginia Wesleyan. Let's look at this starting 5 height-wise for Wesleyan. Todd Clay, 6'3". He's the short guy. Dalen Lee, 6'7". Luka Petrovic, 6'6". Dusan Vicentic, 6'9", and then Fred Bronsted, 6'6". So a tall lineup for Wesleyan, and a rather smaller lineup for the Rams.
Well, the tip controlled by Shepherd and Winston Burgess, and Thomas Lang into the front court as the Rams will shoot at the basket to our right in a zone defense to get this one started for the Bobcats. Lang out top, picked up his dribble, bounces it to Smith in the paint. Smith just in front of the foul line. Going to work to Sanders on that far side. To Burgess with his back to the basket on the baseline. Kicks out to Sanders in that left corner, and the 3 ball hits the rim and then bounces over top of the backboard. That'll be a team rebound to Wesleyan. Petrovic triggering that inbounds.
And again, not working it inside too much because of that size, at least on that first offensive series.
Well, and Petrovic working the points. Wesleyan into the front court. Working against that Ram defense, and from the right side, a long 3 comes off the iron. That one no good, out of the hands of Dusan Vicentic. Vicentic, their leading scorer, averaging 15.4 per game. And here is a ball knocked away from Thomas Lang into the backcourt along the far sideline in front of the Ram bench. It will go out of bounds off Luka Petrovic, who was able to get a hand on it. No, hang on, it's off of Lang, and it will be a turnover and belong to the Bobcats. No score. Now 1 minute into this one. Bobcat basketball. Bronsted sending on this near wing to Lee. At the high post to Vicentic. Again to Lee. Dribble drive into the lane. Underhand scoop shot wouldn't go. Burgess may have deflected that one. Rebound tipped and controlled by the Rams as McKnight quickly works into the front court. Out top, Thomas Lang with it. Giving it off to Smith on that left wing. Good aggressive defense by the Bobcats, really stretching it out, denying those possible 3-point attempts. Sanders between the rings. To Lang on this right side of the floor, working against that zone. Burgess down low, gets to Smith, cutting to the basket, and the ball stripped away from him. Good hands from Clay Todd, the 6'3 junior.
And Wesleyan playing trap defense or help defense. That's going to leave somebody open. Shepherd did a very good job of finding Preston down low, or should I say Devin Smith down low, He just waited a little bit too long to go up with that pass.
Inbounds pass with just 6 seconds on the shot clock. Nice drive on the angle right side into the paint for McKnight. Shot wouldn't go. Burgess, his putback didn't go. Again, McKnight has the ball. Shot rejected out of there that time by Vicentic. And back the other way. Bobcat basketball still no score 2 minutes in.
Good offensive rebounds in that offensive possession for Shepherd. Again, severely size-wise outmanned down low.
3 ball from straight away, rolls around and then drops through for Dusan Vicentic. Vicentic, 8 of 20. That's 40% from beyond the arc this season, and the big fella makes it 3-0. West Virginia Wesleyan turnover at midcourt. Clay Todd has that one, drives to the basket but misses the shot, and the Rams will come the other way. Lang into the front court, and his pass knocked away and out of bounds.
Shepherd lucky on that. A great take by Wesleyan. Just couldn't finish at the rim.
3-0 the Bobcat advantage. 17:28 to play here in our first half. Ram basketball with the inbounds to McKnight near that midcourt stripe. Dribbling out off to the left wing, now to Sanders, to Smith on this right wing. You mentioned that size of Wesleyan earlier. That really helps them in this zone. They can really spread out. Lang open from the right side. 3 ball up and good. Thomas Lang, a 39% three-point shooter for Shepherd. 17 of 43 coming in. Ties it at 3.
Good ball movement on the perimeter. And again, somebody's going to be open with the zone defense that Wesleyan is playing. And a good job realizing that for Shepherd offensively.
From the foul line, a stop and pop for Luka Petrovic, and the 6'6 junior gives Wesleyan a 5-3 lead. Lang into the lane, lobs it at the rim, and the attempt for Winston Burgess comes off the iron, no good. Really couldn't get the grip on it to try to slam it, so he just tried to tip it into the basket, and it came off the iron. Drive into the lane for Petrovic, contact and a foul. Foul on the floor, so no shots coming, as that personal will go against Devin Smith, the 6'3 senior out of Baltimore, Maryland. Checking into the lineup, Marcus Larson, 6'4 junior out of Sweden for the Bobcats. He's going to spell Lee. Inbounds pass to a cutter down the left side of the lane, and that is Clay Todd who lays it up and in.
And that was a great cut by Todd. The defense for Shepherd had their back to the court. Again, eyes on the basket, which you want, but that cutter by Todd, and there's going to have to be a timeout called for Shepherd, but a good job by Todd cutting into the lane.
Yeah, McKnight caught in the backcourt right near that midcourt stripe in a double team, and so the Rams burn the timeout as opposed to losing the possession. 16 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in our first half, and it is a Bobcat 7-3 early lead.
Yeah, and right now it's Shepherd doing a good job when they're scoring, avoiding the trap defense and being able to move the ball. When they're not able to move that ball or get rid of that trap defense, Wesleyan's having their way, and that's what they really wanted to do coming into this game.
And this Bobcat defense has really stretched out. As you mentioned earlier, they are long. They've been playing that zone and trying to take away that perimeter for the Rams, although Lang does have 1 3-pointer. Shepherd basketball out of the timeout. McKnight into the front court, being guarded by Clay on that far side as the Bobcats switch things up defensively. Lang at the high post, bounces down low to Burgess, 2-hand slam dunk for Winston Burgess. Now that's good ball movement.
It's good ball movement and almost too easy for Burgess to get up and throw that down.
Fun to watch, that's for sure. 7-5 as the Rams get back within 2. Petrovic giving to Clay along this left wing. Thought about the 3, didn't take the shot. Vicentic out top to Petrovic. Back down low to Vicentic, and the reverse layup good.
Great up and under right there. Realized he had a defender coming in, went up, then used the left hand to go up and under off the glass.
9-5, a 4-point Bobcat lead. Ram basketball shooting at the hoop to our right. 15:22 on a running first half clock. McKnight deep on that left side of the floor. To Lang on the right wing, to Smith at the foul line. He'll take a dribble back and then fire that shot. It's off the rim. Rebound, Burgess, layup good.
Good offensive rebound by Burgess, but looking back at the initial shot by Devin Smith, I think he's got to turn around and take that jump shot immediately instead of taking 2 steps back and then taking the longer jump shot. Turn around and take that shot immediately.
Yeah, fading away. He left it short off the rim. 9-7. Shepherd trailing by 2, and a nice job by Malik Sanders to get his hands on it and poke that one away from Fred Bronstedt. Timeout on the floor. It's immediate timeout. Let's take the break as well. We got 14:50 remaining in our first half. A low-scoring start to this one as West Virginia Wesleyan leads Shepherd 9-7.
Prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
West Virginia Wesleyan basketball as they give the inbounds to Petrovic. Around on that right wing, Bronstedt with a long three, but it comes off the iron. McKnight the rebound. He wants to quickly get into the front court. Turns and gives to Lang. Nice defense there by Luka Petrovic, forcing Lang to back it out. And the Rams work around the perimeter again against this zone defense. Bobcats switched up out of that last Ram timeout, went man-to-man. Out of the immediate timeout, they go right back to the zone. Sanders beyond the arc right side to Lang out top to Smith in the lane to Sanders on the right wing. Three on the way. Got it. A sweet shot from Malik Sanders.
Just like that, Shepherd takes the lead at 10-9.
A couple of threes in the early going. One for Lang and now one for Sanders. And that has the Rams out in front by a point. Petrovic to the foul line. Gives it off to Bronstedt. Long three from the right wing. That one's up and good.
Nothing you can do about that shot. That's a deep three that not a lot of people are going to take. You're not going to guard that too often that deep beyond the arc. So nothing really Shepherd can do about that.
Fred Bronstedt getting into the scoring. 12-10 now that lead for Wesleyan. Shepherd working around the perimeter. Again, that defense really stretching out. Double team comes in the corner on Burgess down on that far side. He'll turn, leap into the air, and bounce it off of a Bobcat defender to maintain the possession for Shepherd.
Burgess very lucky. You never want to pick your dribble up in the corner, especially when you're playing a defense like Wesleyan. Got away with a mistake there. Was able to throw it off a Wesleyan defender and keep possession. Just 5 left on the shot clock.
John Preston and Cam Stevens checking into that Ram lineup. Long three from the right side, banks in, but they will not allow the shot as Malik Sanders did not get it off before the shot clock violation.
Took one too many dribbles. A good shot. Didn't hear glass, but I was going to give it to him, but it just took one too many dribbles.
So it remains a 12-10 Bobcat lead, 13-17 to play in the first half. Lob down low, tipped up and in by Clay Todd. Really caught that one in the air without coming down and laid it off the glass. Trap comes at midcourt, broken by the Rams. Stevens to Sanders, right wing three on the way, off the rim, no good. Cam Stevens grabs the rebound, and now the three from the left wing up and good for Thomas Lang, his second of the first half. 14-13, Shepherd within one.
Good offensive rebound right there by Cam Stevens, setting up that scoring play. One of the guards you don't usually see get an offensive rebound, but he's in the game and takes advantage of it. Good backdoor cut.
And a beautiful pass to get it to Luka Petrovic for the easy lay-in. The Bobcat lead at 16-13. Again, pressure coming in the midcourt stripe, broken by the Rams. Down low, Preston gives it off to Sanders. Out to Stevens, back to Sanders. Left corner three comes off the iron, no good, and the rebound to Petrovic.
Good ball movement by the Rams. Didn't get the shot to fall, but good ball movement.
And got the look they wanted. Sanders has now missed back-to-back threes. Three ball from the right wing, short off the iron for Marcus Larson. Shepherd comes the other way. John Preston leading the offense. To Lang in that right corner. His three on the way. Rattles off the rim. No good. Burgess there. He's got the rebound. Fouled as he goes back up for the shot. I believe they'll get Bronstedt on the backside for that one. Nope. They'll go with the guy underneath, and that was Marcus Larson who commits the foul.
Back-to-back possessions where Shepherd misses the initial shot they take, but a good offensive rebound. Second chance points are going to be big, especially when you're down 3 early.
Burgess with the foul shots. Puts it up and through. Winston Burgess, 22 of 29 from the line this season. Good for 76%. Lang and Sanders going to get a breather now as Smith and McKnight check back into the Ram lineup. 16-14, Shepherd trails by 2, and it'll stay that way as Burgess cannot get the second free throw to go. Vicentic with the rebound. Back the other way, Wesleyan has it with that 2-point lead. Open on the wing left side, 3-ball up and off both sides of the rim for Fred Bronstedt. Hit the near side of the rim, popped in the air, hit the back side of the rim, and then down to Shepherd. Rams the other way, still working against that zone defense. Preston out top with it. Works high post to Smith, to McKnight on the right wing. 3 up and good. Derek McKnight knocks it down. A 21% three-point shooter, his 7th of the season.
McKnight, such a quick release, is going to help him again. Say it a lot so far, but the size of this defense, you're going to need a quick release from beyond the arc.
17-16. Now that Ram advantage in this somewhat back and forth matchup as we near the midpoint of our first half. Lee with it on the left side of the floor, guarded by McKnight. Backs it out and gives out top to Petrovic. He starts a drive, banged into McKnight, who hit the deck. No foul called, and as the horn sounds, Dalen Lee fired a long 3 from the left side, and it's no good. Shepherd the other way with a 1-point lead. I wondered if we'd get a foul one way or the other. We did not. Cam Stevens right of the lane, puts it up with the right hand, but it comes off the iron. Wesleyan the other way.
I think that's a play where Cam Stevens felt the need to get that ball a little more arc than he's used to, trying to get it over the defenders. Didn't seem to come out of his hand all that comfortably.
Clay Todd out top, now on that far side. Vicentic. They'll work it back to Todd in the right corner, and his 3-ball rattles around and pops free. Shepherd basketball. McKnight the other way. Rams holding that 17-16 lead as we near the midpoint of our first half. 3-ball from the left side of the floor, out of the hands of John Preston. That one from the sideline comes off the iron. And again, the Bobcats go the other way. A lot of long shots and one-and-dones right now for both teams. Todd giving it off to Vicentic. Around on the left wing to Petrovic. Right-hand dribble to the foul line, then gives back on the left side of the floor. Clay Todd was right down there with Bronstedt. Almost a battle as to who was going to get it. Now the pass in the lane knocked away. John Preston tipped it. Taken by Stevens into the front court to McKnight. Down low for the reverse layup. Good for Winston Burgess.
Great job by Winston Burgess, up and under, but even a better pass from Derek McKnight, finding the big man down low.
Yeah, great body control on that reverse layup to make it a 3-point Ram advantage. 19-16. We'll have a timeout on the next dead ball. 3 up and good for Dusan Vicentic from the left side. And that will tie it up 19-19. McKnight into the lane, had the ball poked away. It'll be a loose ball foul, and the Rams will have it. I believe that foul on the floor. Once we come back from the timeout, Marcus Larson, that is Luka Petrovic, called with a personal foul. We need to take a break with 9:05 to play in our first half, tied at 19.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Back again here at the Butcher Athletic Center. Shepherd Rams basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Matt Crawford, Matt Miller with you. 9:05 to play in our first half, and we are tied at 19-19. The Rams come in at 4-1, 1-1 in the league. The Bobcats 3-2 through their first 5 games, but also 1-1 in league play. Ram basketball coming out of that timeout as there was a foul going into the break. Rams work it down low to Smith, but he has to circle and bring it right back around on this right wing. Good defense again by Wesleyan. Staying in that zone. They've only gone man-to-man for a brief time. Cam Stevens straight away. Long three off the iron. Rebound run down far side by Marcus Larson.
It's not a shot Cam Stevens wants to take. You have to think about it that much. You pull it down, give it to somebody else, set the offense back up. You could tell he didn't necessarily want to take that shot, but was going to risk it, and risk not worth it as that ball rattles in and out.
Vicentic at the high post, handing that one off to Petrovic. Now to Bronstedt on the left wing. His three rattles around a couple of times. Great box out by the big guy known as Tank inside, and McKnight clears the rebound for the Rams. The Tank is Emmanuel Aguirre. He's called the Tank because he goes 6'5", 285, and the Rams work him the basketball low post left side, and he draws a foul going up for the shot. Dusan Vicentic, the 6'9", 225-pound junior forward, will pick up the personal. I like that matchup, even though Aguirre gives up a few inches. He gains several pounds. Misses the free throw. A little flat as it came out of his hands and went off the back of the iron in the backboard and kind of shot right back out.
Matt, 14-14 left in the second. The Mountaineers have a 58-43 lead over Ryder.
Second foul shot up and good. That game is on our AM 740 and FM 106 radio signals as we bring you Rams basketball on our WRNR TV YouTube channel as well as TV 10. From the left angle, three up and good for Fred Bronstedt. 6'6" senior knocks down another. 22-20 now. The Bobcats have regained the lead. They look to trap after that made basket, but the Rams able to break it and now into the front court. Smith out top, giving it off to Kyle Daggett, who's checked into the lineup. 6'6" sophomore out of Walkersville, Maryland. Smith giving to Lang, almost threw it right behind him as Lang was turning to go towards the basket. McKnight now with it. Again to Lang, down to 4, down to 3. Lang from almost straight away. His three hits off the back rim. Rebound to Tank, but his putback a little too strong. And this time Bronstedt has it. So Aguirre got the offensive board, but could not get the putback. Petrovic down the right side of the lane, passes out on this left wing. Edward Flores checked into the lineup. He gave it off to Bronstedt. His left side three off the iron, and the Rams go the other way. Lang open in the right corner. His three up and good. Nice lob feed from across the floor to get it to the open man. 23-22 Shepherd.
Good lob and a good job again getting that ball up quick with the defense closing in.
Shepherd back in front by 1, 6:48 and counting. Out top Petrovic to Bronstedt on the left side of the floor. To Larson in that left corner. Back out to Petrovic, long three right side. It's off the back rim. McKnight clears the rebound. This is a team that's being out-rebounded 38-26 on the season, and you get a little bit of an idea why with all those long shots that they have been taking. They've got good size. You wouldn't necessarily expect them to be getting beat on the boards. Daggett, low post left side, able to turn baseline and bank it up and in.
Man, Tank wanted that down lower and extra. I'm not sure where he was going to go if he'd have gotten that pass, but good job. Shepherd now up 3, 6 minutes left to play here, but a good transition basket for Wesleyan.
Great backdoor cut by Luka Petrovic. He takes the feed and the easy lay-in. And now a turnover at midcourt by the Rams. Lang's pass beyond the reach of Daggett, taken away by Wesleyan. 25-24, Shepherd with a 1-point lead. But the Bobcats have the basketball. 5:45 and counting here in our first half. Petrovic, top of the key, bounces it off to Bronstedt. Daggett guarding him in this man-to-man. Larson from the left corner, short on the three, and the rebound to Daggett.
Quick-paced game going right now, but I'm still not sure either team has settled into what they want to do. You see a lot of threes being put up for Shepherd, but it's not necessarily where a lot of their offense usually comes from. So I think still trying to figure out how they want to approach this offensively. And equally on the West Virginia Wesleyan side, I'm still not sure they're settled in to what they're used to on offense.
Well, McKnight with a nice pass down low. Aguirre lost control of the ball, regains control on the right side of the basket, banks it up and in, and one, as a foul will go against Marcus Larson.
Good job by Aguirre, but a play that I'm not thinking when they watch film that Coach Namlick's going to go, okay, send that one back out. Don't go 2-on-1 after you get an offensive rebound and your head's still down.
27-24 now, that Ram advantage. Substitutions each way. So both of these head coaches, Jack Merriweather for Wesleyan and the Rams' Justin Namlick, trying to keep their guys fresh, rotating in and out. Free throw, no good. Aguirre could not complete that three-point play. It remains a three-point Ram lead as Wesleyan moves into the front court, shooting at the hoop to our left. Vicentic sends to Larson, beyond the arc on this left wing. Back out top to Clay Todd. Top of the key, Vicentic with it, and we have a whistle away from the ball, and we will have a personal foul. There will be a hold that will go against the Rams, and it looks like it's on John Preston, the 6'3 freshman out of Brandywine, Maryland. That'll lead us to another media timeout. 4 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in our first half. We take the break with your score, Shepherd 27 and West Virginia Wesleyan 24.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We are back once again here at the Butcher Athletics Center. 4:48 remaining here in our first half, 27-24. Shepherd with the lead in what has been a kind of back and forth first half. Well played first half, to be honest. Both teams have kind of lived and died by the three at times. That's meant some one and dones as they've gone back and forth to each end of the floor. Wesleyan has the basketball. The inbounds to Vicentic, to Clay, and now to Larson on the left wing, and his three off the rim. And again, nobody underneath for the Bobcats. 3 Rams right there to grab the rebound.
Well, you see, and it's funny again because of their size. You think they'd be crashing those boards offensively, but so far, and you mentioned those rebound totals, that's not what they do. Defensively, they're on the boards, but not offensively.
Preston in the lane with a turnaround jumper from about 14 feet away. It comes off the rim, and we'll have a foul on the floor going after that rebound, and it looks like it's Edward Floor, the 5'11 sophomore out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, called with that foul for the Bobcats. His first now, team foul number 5. The Rams have committed only 2 team fouls. It's an inbounds opportunity. Cam Stevens, former Musselman standout, has it out top to Lang on this right wing. Again to Stevens. Dribbles to the right side of the floor. Malik Sanders now has it between the circles. To Preston on that left wing. To Stevens and to Lang, open in the left corner. Oh, the 3 actually hit the side of the backboard, but the rebound in the lane to John Preston, and the turnaround jumper good. Don't see that often.
You don't see that often, and I'm not sure that Lang was expecting that pass. I don't think Cam Stevens ever fully possessed that, more like batted it back into the corner. So I'm not sure Lang was really expecting to have to put up that 3, but when he got it, was wide open.
Dribble drive into the lane for Clay Todd. Turns, passes out top to Lee. Driving to the basket, contact and a foul. Dalen Lee, the 6'7 freshman out of the Rock School in Toronto, Canada, will go to the line for a couple of free throws as the foul goes on the Rams' Cam Stevens. Looking at the numbers for Lee, 4 of 6 from the charity stripe. That's 67% in the early going of the season, and leaves this one short off the iron. Another opportunity coming with a 5-point deficit right now for Wesleyan as Shepherd leads at 29-24. 3:38 remaining in our first half. Foul shot on the way. This one's off the back iron. Preston clears the rebound, and the Rams have it. Stevens looking to avoid that trap in the backcourt. Gets it off to McKnight. Back to Stevens on that far side. Now at the high post to Preston. 15-foot jumper up and good. John Preston, the 6'3 freshman, knocks it down. Now that Ram lead out to 7.
It's a high percentage shot for John Preston if he can get those all night long.
31-24, Shepherd with the advantage. Out top, 3 ball from Vicentic, but the left-hand shot comes off the iron. And Cam Stevens brings it the other way for Shepherd. To Sanders, driving into the lane, a whistle and an offensive foul. Yeah, Sanders a little out of control as he collided with Clay Todd right at the foul line.
Man, I'll tell you what, Wesleyan right now offensively is settling for three-point shots. They are not, for the size they have. I know I sound like a broken record with their size, but they do really have the size advantage down low. And right now they are settling for shots beyond the arc.
Well, while we have an opportunity with a timeout on the floor and 3 minutes left in this one, 31-24 the Ram lead. Let's take a look at the Atlantic Region rankings that came out this week that now has Shepherd moving into that number 9 spot. They were in the others receiving votes until this week, and now at 4-1, they come in at number 9. At the top of the list, Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Then comes West Liberty, Shippensburg, Notre Dame of Ohio, and Fairmont State rounding out the top 5. So you've got 3 Mountain East Conference teams in that top 5. Then Virginia State, Mercyhurst, Kutztown, Shepherd, and Glenville State rounds out that top 10. So gives you an idea of what those region rankings are looking like right now as we play here this evening. Out of the timeout, Wesleyan basketball, and we'll have a whistle. And let's see what we'll have. Our official on that far side, the outside official, calling a foul. And it will go against Luka Petrovic, I believe. No, that's Vicentic. Dusan Vicentic will be called with the personal. And that's a turnover as it'll give the ball to the Rams. That one clearly away from the ball. Didn't see exactly what it was. Coach Jack Merriweather wanted to know as well. So the Wesleyan coach was questioning the official. Lob feed down low, slam dunk, Winston Burgess.
It's almost not fair sometimes how long his arms are. He was nowhere near the basket height-wise and just able to grab that basketball and extend the arms fully and still get the dunk.
33-24, the Ram advantage. 2:14 and counting in our first half. Clay Todd gives it off down in the right corner. The 3 from Fred Bronstedt off the iron and back the other way. Here come the Rams.
Again, Wesleyan right now is settling for threes and they're not making them. So if you're Shepherd, let them have the contested 3.
Cam Stevens driving down the right side of the lane, forced up that shot, couldn't get it to go. Winston Burgess the rebound, left hands it up, it rattles in and out, no good. Bronstedt the rebound, Wesleyan the other way. Under 2 minutes to play in our first half, and Shepherd leading 33-24. And not a bad look for Stevens, and a good putback opportunity for Burgess. Just didn't go. Open on the left wing, a 3 is up and good for Marcus Larson. So Larson draws the Bobcats a little closer, puts them into the trap, almost a steal, but McKnight has it down low. Reverse layup, good for Winston Burgess.
Good up and under by Burgess.
35-27, that Shepherd advantage. Larson on the near side. Gives to Vicentic at that top of the key. Around to Petrovic on the right side of the floor. Bronstedt with it now on that right wing. Good defense by the Rams. Petrovic feeding down low. Vicentic will, not get the shot. The foul will occur on the floor, but it looks like, will they give him the shot? No, it's going to be an out of bounds. All the players were lining up at the foul line. I wanted to make sure as we kept an eye on the official. The foul will be called on John Preston, as they said he got there a little late trying to draw a charge, or perhaps what it was more like he was inside the circle as opposed to maybe being there a little late. So the ball belongs to the Bobcats, still trailing 35-27, under a minute to play in our first half. At the high post, Jalen Melvin has checked into the lineup. He had it momentarily. Melvin trying to set up down low. Pass still out on the perimeter. Down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. A 3 from the right side. Thrown up by Melvin. It comes off the iron. No good. Ram basketball. McKnight quickly into the front court. Slows it down at the foul line. Backs it out. And the Rams should hold for the final shot of the half. Shot clock, play clock. Only about a second difference, if it's even a full second. So McKnight controls that dribble. Out near the midcourt stripe now, more over towards that left side of the floor. Gives it the high post to Lang. To Smith. Smith with a 3 just right of the lane. It comes off the rim, no good. Rebound was controlled by Clay Todd, but as he tried to dribble out of there, had the ball poked away. The loose ball picked up as the horn sounds, and no final shot as we head into the locker room at the half. We'll take a short break, come back with our halftime report as we'll recap how this first half has played out, take a look at some of the numbers. We'll revisit the women's game from earlier today and see what's going on elsewhere around the Mountain East Conference, all on our halftime report as you watch Ram basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Again, we're at the intermission with your score. Shepherd Rams 35, the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats 27.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
We are back once again here at the Butcher Athletic Center. We are at the half. Matt Miller along with Matt Crawford. It's a Shepherd Ram lead of 35-27. The Rams really getting it done with a pretty good defensive effort, and as well knocking down some key open shots. They've hit threes that have opened things up on the inside against that zone defense. I'll be anxious to see what Jack Merriweather, the Bobcat head coach, comes out and does in the second half. Will he change up that defense after playing so much of the zone in the first half? Only went man-to-man for a short time coming out of an early timeout, but then after the next media timeout, went right back into that zone defense, and the Rams have been able to find the holes in that zone.
They have, and a very unique outcome when you look at how this first half played out. When you look at the way both these teams started size-wise in the starting lineups. Again, I know this has been something that people are probably getting tired of hearing me say, but you look at the differential here, and West Virginia Wesleyan should have no issue going inside on Shepherd, and right now they're just not doing that. It's phenomenal for Shepherd because Shepherd plays very good perimeter defense, and West Virginia Wesleyan is settling for three-point shots. It's phenomenal for Shepherd But you got to wonder if there's going to be something that Wesleyan's going to try to do to try to work the ball inside more in the second half, because I truly think that they're going to be able to. And you're showing me right now that we finally got the stats from the first half. Shepherd's out rebounding the Bobcats 26-13. They started the game with 4 of the 5 starters going 6-6 or better. Shepherd's one starter over 6'6", Winston Burgess. Just it amazes me. And you look at even defensively and offensively, Shepherd is crashing the boards much harder, and that's a want to more than just size.
Well, just 3 turnovers for the Bobcats, just 5 for Shepherd. Both have done a pretty nice job of protecting the basketball, and especially the Rams against that pressure defense that's been applied by Wesleyan. When they make a shot, they want to jump into a trap and try to force a turnover. Shepherd has been able to avoid that as they've committed just 5 turnovers. Again, Wesleyan 3. Shepherd with that big advantage in the rebounding category. How about the shooting numbers? Wesleyan shot 41% in the first half, made 11 of 27 in field goal percentage. Shepherd, 41% as well. They made 14 of 34. Three-point shooting, 5 of 18 for Wesleyan. That's 28%, while the Rams at 36%, making 5 out of 14. And Shepherd just 2 of 5 from the foul line, 40%, compared to the Bobcats, 0 of 2 in the first half. They don't have a point from the foul line.
They're not driving into the lane. Again, they're settling for 3-point baskets and shooting from the perimeter. They're not driving into the lane and drawing those fouls. So that the number of times the foul line really not surprising me all that much.
Now you look at the rebounds, and just 1 offensive rebound for West Virginia Wesleyan, 12 defensive boards for their 13 total. The Rams have 10 offensive rebounds as part of their 26 total rebounds in the first half. That's huge.
Crashing the boards. That's an effort thing. Throw size out the window. That's an effort play when you're getting offensive rebounds.
You look at that number, and that has led to 3 more makes in field goals, as the Rams have hit 14 shots compared to 11 for Wesleyan. Both have hit 5 threes, and of course the Rams have knocked down 2 free throws to none for the Bobcats. And well, there's your 8-point differential, with Shepherd leading by 8, 35-27. All right, you want to take a break, or you want to stay here?
I'll leave it up to you.
Because I tell you what, let's stay here and then we'll take our break and come back and look at scores in men's and women's action from around the conference this evening. Let's stay here and look back at the women's game from earlier today as the Shepherd Rams and the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats met, and in the end, it was the Bobcats who picked up their first victory of the season, 62-51. They had a 2-point lead after the first 10 minutes of play, 10-8. Went on to outscore Shepherd 19-12 in that second period. So had the halftime lead, and then in the third quarter outscored Shepherd 19-13. And the Rams, with a valiant effort late, actually outscored Wesleyan 18-14 in that fourth quarter. However, the Rams expended so much energy trying to get back after falling behind by double digits. Once they got it to within 3 at 53-50, they just couldn't close it.
Yeah, no gas left in the tank. It was a valiant last run for the Rams, but it was too little too late. You look at the game of basketball, it's a game of runs, and Shepherd's only run in that game was late in the fourth quarter. So while it was close, you're going to need to have a little more spurt than that throughout the game.
A very, very difficult shooting night for the Rams as they shoot just 28% field goal percentage, 14 of 51, but just 18% from beyond the arc, 4 of 22, and 19 of 24 from the line, 79%. Only one player for the Rams went in double figures. Kayla Tibbs had 14. Carrie Langford, next in line, scored 9 points. Meanwhile, 3 went in double figures for West Virginia Wesleyan as Abby Gabauer scored 19. Victoria Jackson added 15, and Brittany Stowovi added 11 points. The Bobcats shot 41%, 24% from beyond the arc, only 58% from the line, but it was more than enough as they made 23 field goals to just 14 for Shepherd.
And we talked at halftime, Shepherd only made 7 field goals at the half, and you and I both agreed if they were going to win this game, they could not duplicate a 7 made field goal half, and that's exactly what they did, finishing with only 14 made field goals.
All right, that's a look at what happened with the Rams earlier. Let's go ahead and take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll see what's going on elsewhere around the Mountain East Conference and get you ready for our second half of action. We are at the intermission here at the Butcher Center with Shepherd leading West Virginia Wesleyan 35-27.
Prepare for what's next or to plan ahead. We're here. Brown Funeral Home, a legacy of service since 1880.
And here at the Butcher Athletics Center, along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller for TV10 and WRNR-TV on YouTube. You can pick us up as well through the ShepherdRams.com athletic website or the MountainEast.org conference website. Plenty of ways that you can check out Ram basketball. By the way, we'll be back on the 8th of December. It's a Saturday doubleheader, 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock for the men and women, as the Rams will take on Wheeling Jesuit. Special day here at the Butcher Center, as that will be a Toys for Tots Saturday, meaning if you bring one unwrapped toy, you will get one free admission ticket to the doubleheader, and the toys will then be given to Toys for Tots. We understand that will also be a women's basketball alumni event, and as well for both the men's and women's teams, it will be Camper Day as an opportunity to welcome in and say thanks to all of the campers that came and were a part of the basketball camps during the summer here at Shepherd University. So it'll be a lot of fun on December 8th. Come on down, and if you can't make it, well, tune in right here on TV10 and WRNR-TV on YouTube. All right, Matt, as the two teams are back on the floor going through their warm-ups for the second half, let's get an idea of what's going on elsewhere around the conference.
Let's start with the games on the women's side, since that's where we ended before we went into that break. Finals from the women's game, the upset of the year so far. Fairmont State over Glenville State, 98-77. Glenville State, one of the top teams in the nation in women's basketball. It was UVA-wise, a tight win over West Virginia State, 87-84. West Liberty, the Hilltoppers, get the better of Urbana, 95-56. It was Notre Dame over Wheeling Jesuit, 66-48, and Charleston over Concord, 82-57. Now let's look at what is going on in the guys' games tonight. Again, all the Mountain East teams in action tonight. 31-26, UVA-wise leading West Virginia State. That game still early in the first half, 6:36 remaining in the first half of that one. It is at the half, Glenville State 42, Fairmont State 41, so a tight game at the half there. Also at the half, it is Notre Dame over Wheeling Jesuit, 38-27. Wheeling Jesuit 0-5 this year. They're definitely not having the year they have had recently. Notre Dame taking their place this year, getting a couple of All-Americans back that were injured last year.
Yeah, and Wheeling Jesuit going through a coaching change and some things there that have maybe led to a slow start to this season.
It is Charleston taking on Concord. That game just started the second half, knotted up at 42, and West Liberty and Urbana. That game at the half, 53-43, the Hilltoppers in front. That is what's going on around the Mountain East Conference. Make sure you tune in after the games. We'll have some finals from these games, and we'll recap again the final in the women's action.
And be sure to tune in first thing tomorrow morning. You'll catch our sports reports. That'll give you the finals from tonight's games and the Mountaineer game as well, as the West Virginia Mountaineers playing on this Wednesday night against the Rider Broncs. Yes, I think that's short for Broncos. As I looked at
you don't have the rodeo lingo down yet.
I don't. But they're not the bucking broncs. See, if you said a bucking bronc, then I certainly understand that lingo. But they're just the Rider Broncs. Last check, the Mountaineers had the lead in that one. We'll let you know what's going on with that one as we continue here. You can hear that one on AM 740 and FM 106.5 as you watch the Shepherd Rams from here at the Butcher Center. Now let's see how this second half plays out. How will the Bobcats come out defensively? Will they stay in that zone, or will they begin to switch things up a little bit in this second half? Will they look to work it inside a little bit more, or will they stay a perimeter team? You look at their three-point shooting, and through their first 5 games, 154 three-point attempts, making 60 for 39%. Meanwhile, the Rams, through their first 5 games, 123 three-point attempts, making 43 or 35%.
And for Wesleyan, well, that's a good percentage. I'm not sure that's a good enough percentage to live and die on. I mean, if you're shooting 50% or 45% from beyond the arc, yes, live and die by that. But you're flirting with the high 30s, low 40s. Not sure you want to base your entire game on that.
All right, here we go. Second half getting underway. Petrovic giving it off to Vicentic. Out top with it now, Clay Todd. On the near wing, you have Marcus Larson, and out there as well, Fred Bronstedt. Those are the 5 to start this second half for the Bobcats. Penetrating into the lane, Clay Todd, and he gets that short shot in the lane to go. And now we may have a delay of game warning against the Bobcats as that ball got knocked around a little bit before Malik Sanders could grab it for the inbound. Sanders, McKnight, Lang, Smith, and Burgess, starting 5 back out there for Shepherd. Ram basketball, though, inbounds from the near side as the Bobcats pretty aggressive again, getting hands in the passing lanes, really extending the defense, and they do start this second half in that zone. The Rams go to Burgess on the left baseline, to Sanders, out top to Smith, penetrating into the lane, gives to Burgess on the right baseline, to Sanders, to Lang in the left corner, 3 on the way, got it! Thomas Lang knocks it down. Lang in that first half had 9 points, including 3 3-pointers.
Nice ball movement early, and again, quick release by Thomas Lang in the corner. Good rebound after the last time he shot that 3 ball off the side of the backboard.
Vicentic out top to Clay Todd. Back to Vicentic. And on that left wing, Luka Petrovic with a drive into the lane. Missed the shot, but got his own rebound. And we got a whistle and a foul. That one may go on Thomas Lang, and my broadcast partner giving me a motion. He thought there might have been a travel. Either that or you were disco dancing.
I was not disco dancing. I think that that Luka took a few too many steps, maybe just one extra. I think there was a third step there.
Petrovic, after missing, able to get an offensive rebound, which would be only the second offensive rebound that they've had in this game. And that got him to the line where he misses the free throw. First foul, by the way, on Thomas Lang. Second free throw, it rims out as well. Oh, wow. Petrovic can't get either one to go. And the Rams come the other way with a 38-29 lead. Looking at those numbers for Petrovic, he was 4 for 4 from the line coming into today. McKnight loses control of the dribble. Loose ball picked up far side by Bronstedt. The Bobcats into the front court. Wesleyan looking to cut into the deficit. Vicentic giving to Petrovic, driving in on the left angle. A little bit of body contact. Oh my, and a very, very late whistle as that shot came off the backboard and was down on the floor before the foul was called on Derek McKnight. I'm not saying there wasn't contact. There probably was. But that appeared like well, let's see if it goes in first.
Yeah.
By the time that foul was called.
If it's a foul, it's a foul. You don't need to wait. Blow the whistle.
Wow, and Petrovic struggling at the line. Walks away from the line very abruptly after leaving this one short. Another opportunity for the 6'6 junior out of Serbia. And this one up and good. 38-30. The Ram lead at 8. Pressure in the backcourt. Lang passing ahead to McKnight along the near side. Penetrating into the lane. Was losing control of the dribble. Petrovic gets the steal. He'll go the other way. Passing off to Bronstedt. And now the offense sets for the Bobcats. Pretty good transition D by Shepherd to get back and stop any fast break. Petrovic driving along the right baseline. Came to a jump stop again. May have been a travel. Pass down low. In and out of the hands of Dusan Vicentic. and then out of bounds.
Again,
That's a turnover.
I hate to be like this, but you only get 2 steps.
Not in this day and age of basketball.
Apparently not. Apparently they're taking some pages out of the NBA playbook.
Again, that trap coming near midcourt, broken by Shepherd. Derek McKnight in the front court slows it down as Wesleyan settles back into their zone defense. 38-30, Shepherd with an 8-point lead, 17-24 and counting here in our first half. The Rams go down low to Smith, Evan Smith. Back out to Sanders on that right wing. Down to 2 seconds, down to 1, and McKnight won't even get the shot away. From the left wing, it did hit the rim, rolled off, then hit the backboard. Shot no good, but wouldn't have counted even had it gone. Another shot clock violation.
And I get needing to be aware on the court because you do need to. But again, nothing from the Shepherd bench or the crowd based on what was left on that shot clock. You usually hear a little bit more as it gets below 10.
Petrovic on the right side of the floor, left-hand dribble to the foul line. Gives down low to Vicentic, uses the left hand to get that shot up and over Winston Burgess.
That was a good big man move and could have been an earlier shot. Derek McKnight came flying in, leaving his feet. Left a Bobcat wide open at the foul line for a 15-foot jumper.
Sweet shot as Devin Smith from the right side hits one from about 16 feet out. That jumper makes it 40-32, and the Ram lead back out to 8. Vicentic out top. Leading scorer for this team coming in, averaging 15 a game. Bronstedt top of the key. It's off the rim, no good. And the rebound to Shepherd. Ram basketball. Looking back in that first half, Vicentic with 6 points. Shepherd works it inside to Winston Burgess. Right hands it up and in.
And that is a beautiful big man move by Winston Burgess. Took 2 steps with a baby hook. Perfect touch.
42-32. Shepherd extending that lead to double figures at 10. There's that backdoor cut again for Clay Todd, taking that feed from Larson and laying it in.
Good high ball movement, high ball screens up the top of the key, and a phenomenal coach. We've seen Todd do that quite a bit tonight, and he's doing a good job of filling that lane.
Now Shepherd throwing over top of that trapping defense near midcourt. And now in the offensive end, Wesleyan settles into the zone. McKnight on the left side of the floor to Sanders out top. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Again to McKnight. Long three, left wing, short off the iron. Rebound controlled by Bronstedt. Wesleyan basketball trailing by 8. 42-34 is the Shepherd advantage. Vicentic at the foul line. Gives down low, and the layup good for Petrovic. Another backdoor cut. Petrovic got open in the paint and lays it in. Just like that, the double-digit lead cut down to 6. Lang in the front court, slows it down, backs it out. Coach Namalik on the far side, hollering out some instruction. Couple of Rams waiting to check in at the scorer's table. Lang on the right side of the floor, had the basketball poked away. It's loose, and a great job by Lang, able to dive on top of it, and Marcus Larson. And now we'll check the possession arrow, or do we get a foul? No, we get a foul that was called on Thomas Lang, and head coach Justin Namalik questioning that one, as it looks like the teams will head back to their benches as we do have immediate timeout. We will be back in just a minute with 14 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this contest, and the Shepherd Rams leading West Virginia Wesleyan 42-36.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Back again here at the Butcher Athletic Center. Shepherd Ram basketball with a 42-36 lead. The Rams looking to pick up their 5th win in 6 games to open this season. It's been a good start and really needs to be, because the Rams, while at home early, They're going to spend a lot of time on the road later in the season.
They're going to spend a lot of time on the road, and getting wins in the Mountain East Conference is not easy. This is one of the premier basketball conferences in Division II, so any win you can get is an important win, especially when you got to face teams like Fairmont State and West Liberty, and this year Notre Dame within the conference.
Shepherd putting on a little token, about three-quarter court pressure, and the backdoor lob feed down low to Clay Todd. He could not get the shot to go. Back the other way come the Rams. So Wesleyan able to break through that pressure and then got that backdoor lob, but Clay Todd couldn't get the shot. Lob feed down low to Winston Burgess for the two-hand stuff. That's how the alley-oop works.
You know, man, I'm not 100% sure that was an alley-oop. I think that may have been a shot that was a little deflected.
Cam Stevens with a steal in the backcourt, dribbles out of some trouble, and now settles in as the Rams get into the offensive end. John Preston hands it off to Thomas Lang. Thought about the three, goes back to Preston. Preston again with it on that far side of the floor to Stevens. Down low to Burgess. Works his way into the paint. Gives to Lang. Out on the right side of the floor. Gave a ball fake beyond the arc. A dribble inside and then hits from 17. Nice shot. 46-36. Shepherd again in front by 10. You got to respect Lang out there. You know what he can do from beyond the arc, and that little ball fake enough to buy him some room. Drive to the baskets for Bronstedt. Takes that little bounce speed, but could not get the shot to go. Back the other way. Sanders stripped to the ball. Lang grabs it. He'll give it off to Preston. Three up and good. John Preston with a long three, and a timeout needed by West Virginia Wesleyan head coach Jack Merriweather talking with the official on that far side as he burns the timeout with his team now down by 13.
And right now Shepherd is clicking on all cylinders. They're playing the basketball they want to, and they've settled into a rhythm. They figured out that the quick ball movement is going to leave guys open with the defense West Virginia Wesleyan is playing. They're moving the ball quickly. They're taking high-quality shots, and back on the defensive end of the court, they're playing solid defense. Shepherd settling into a groove here as we're almost halfway done this second half and playing their best basketball of the game right now.
Well, Matt, you talked about it a little bit in our pregame, the depth that this Ram basketball team has, and a team that's going to get even deeper as we come back after the Christmas break, as they'll be able to add Jarrell Jones, a 6'3 sophomore guard out of Martinsburg High School via Alderson Broadus College. He's going to add a little more depth than what they already have, but look at the guys they've been able to rotate in and out, stay fresh, and really work well together.
Yeah, and right, you look at a guy like Cam Stevens. He has come in, and while he isn't going to light up the scoreboard, he is a guy you can put in there, and you're not losing anything by putting him in. A lot of times you see at the Division II level, even at some Division I levels, you bring in a backup guard, you bring in a backup anywhere, and while you're not going to be not confident in the player, you may be losing a little bit. And while you may not be gaining a whole extra player with Cam Stevens, you're not going to lose anything. And it's not just Cam Stevens, it's really everybody on this bench. You're not going to lose your edge when you put guys in off the bench.
Coming out of that timeout, let's see what Coach Merriweather and the Bobcats can do. In need of a bucket now, down by 13. Out top, Vicentic giving it off to Bronstedt. Back to Vicentic with his back to the basket on the left side of the floor. To Larson on this right side, and his three up and good. They needed that. Marcus Larson, the 6'4 junior from Sweden, knocks down the three. Cuts that deficit back to 10. Trap at the midcourt stripe. Lang throws over the top of it. Got it to Sanders, back to Lang. Down the right side of the lane, his running floater. Oh, comes off the iron, no good. And here comes Wesleyan with a chance to cut that deficit back down to single digits. On the right wing, Edward Floor back out there. Floor's got it again at the top of the key. Giving it off, to Todd in that right corner. Back out top to Bronstedt. Bronstedt dribbling down to the baseline. Turns, gives back out. Three ball from the wing from Clay Todd, off the mark. And the Rams the other way. Cam Stevens double teamed at the midcourt stripe, knocked to the seat of his pants as a foul is called, and that personal goes on Edward Floor. That Floor just a little too aggressive in that trap out at midcourt along with Clay Todd. 49-39. The lead for Shepherd. 12:08 to play in this contest. Devin Smith in that right corner. Out top to John Preston. He'll try a very long three, and John Preston got it.
Boy, he was feeling something on that. You could just tell by the way he was dribbling. He really wanted to get the ball out of his hand and just pulled up, fluid shot. And like you said, from deep, puts the Rams up by 12.
And Wesleyan really needs a score here as we near the midpoints of this second half. Vicentic at the high post, giving it out to Day on this right wing, and he hits the long three. I said Day, pardon me, it's Todd. Clay Todd, the 6'3 junior out of Oakland, Maryland, making that shot. And now we have a timeout taken, and it looks like a 30-second timeout going to be taken by West Virginia Wesleyan. We'll go ahead and keep it here. Coming up next for the Shepherd Rams, it will be this upcoming Saturday as they will play at Glenville State, a team that right now just moved into the number 10 spot in the Atlantic Region rankings, one behind Shepherd, so that should be a pretty good matchup coming up Saturday. Then as you go into next week on the 5th, that'll be a Wednesday night, the Rams will play at West Liberty. Always a test when you head there. And then the next home game will be here on Saturday, December the 8th against Wheeling Jesuit. And we'll have that broadcast for you on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. Hey, we've got a final in that West Virginia game.
West Virginia 92, Rider 78. A good quality win for the Mountaineers.
All right, let's check in. What do you know is going on with the Maryland Terrapins? Didn't they have a game tonight?
Yeah, they're down by 13 at the start of the second half.
Oh, all right. So still time. Still time.
Thank you for asking, though.
I did want to just find out. I didn't know how things were going.
Yeah, playing number 4 Virginia tonight.
That's a tough test.
That is a tough test. A good defensive basketball team.
Cam Stevens on the left wing, giving out top to Smith, back to Stevens. Three on the way, rolls around the rim, hits the backboard, and then drops through. Cam Stevens for three.
He just wanted to hit every part of the rim right there, and I think he accomplished that.
And added a little backboard as well. 55-42. Shepherd in front. Bronstedt on this right wing. Going down low to Vicentic. Back to the basket, backing in on Burgess. Goes to the left hand, shot up and good. Nice play by the 6'9 junior from Serbia. Shepherd the other way. Double team on Smith. Able to get rid of the basketball to Preston. To Cam Stevens in the left corner, but his three skims off the front iron. The rebound controlled by Larson. Back the other way. Wesleyan has the ball. Vicentic giving on that far wing to Marcus Larson. Out top to Clay Todd. Now to Vicentic again, tries to back his way in, uses the left hand from the left side of the lane, but the shot a little too strong, and the Rams come the other way.
That is a good job by Winston Burgess down low on the defensive side, and a good job on the offensive side as he gets the hook to go.
There you go, from one end to the other. Winston Burgess shows you what he can do defensively, and the jump hook on the offensive end. 57-44, the Ram advantage. Bronstedt, three from the right side, good. And Wesleyan's not going anywhere quietly. 57-47. They cut the deficit again to 10. 9:36 and counting.
If you're John Preston, you can't leave your feet right there at this point in the game. You're up by 13 at that point. Lay off. He's going to get the ball way beyond the three-point line as we have a timeout called by Shepherd. Don't leave your feet. Don't give him the opportunity for a wide-open three.
Yeah, Derek McKnight double-teamed in the backcourt right near that midcourt stripe. Had to burn a timeout to make sure he did not lose possession. Looks like this will be a full timeout with 9:27. This may end up being our 10-minute media timeout. It will be. So let's go ahead and take the full timeout as well. Again, 9:27 remaining in this contest. We step aside with Shepherd leading West Virginia Wesleyan 57-47.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. Certainly has helped take us to another level.
We welcome you back in to the Butcher Athletic Center. Shepherd Rams basketball against the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats on this Wednesday evening. A Mountain East Conference matchup. A pair of teams 1-1 in league play. The winner of this one getting a little upper hand in the early standings. Right now, Notre Dame, West Liberty, and Fairmont State all undefeated in conference play, each at 2-0. Shepherd ball coming out of the timeout. Cam Stevens on the left wing. Controls that dribble against the zone defense. Sanders comes out to set a screen. Pass goes high post to McKnight. Back to Stevens down the left side of the lane. Left hands it up, wouldn't go. Backside rebound. Aguirre kept it alive as his shot kind of got poked away, but the Rams maintained possession. That's a big offensive opportunity for Shepherd. Running a little more time off the clock. McKnight trying a bullet feed between two defenders, and we get a kicked ball. So Shepherd will inbound along the near sideline. Dalen Lee, 6'7", freshman guard, is checked back into that West Virginia Wesleyan lineup. 15 seconds now on the shot clock. Stevens on this left wing. Gives it off to McKnight. At the high post to Smith. Back out to McKnight. Straight away three. Got it. Derek McKnight knocks down the three.
And right now, Shepherd is clicking from beyond the arc. They've hit the majority of the threes they've taken in this second half. But right now, trading baskets with West Virginia Wesleyan. Wesleyan moving the ball a little bit more inside in this second half. So trading threes for twos. I think Shepherd will take that all day long.
Been waiting to see at what points will Coach Merriweather elect to come out of the zone as the Rams are shooting well from outside. Well, the Bobcats have just turned it over as we have a foul away from the ball. Dusan Vicentic whistled with his third personal foul. Battling down inside with Shepherd's Emmanuel Aguirre. Ram basketball into the front court. McKnight going to take it into the lane. Feeds Aguirre. Reverse leg up good. Oh, nice drive by McKnight. Drew the defense, gave the little dish, and Aguirre with the sweet move.
Aguirre, the good hesitation right there, and to go up and under.
62-47. Shepherd out in front. Back out there's Petrovic. He'll fire the three from the right side. It comes off the iron, no good. Lying into the front court for Shepherd. To Sanders. Works it down low and we get a kicked ball as he tried to get it to Aguirre, but Dusan Vicentic got the foot out there and kicked it away. Vicentic at 6'9", not sure how big that shoe is, but pretty big. I'm imagining anyway. Inbounds pass taken away, down the floor. Petrovic to the basket. Layup didn't go. Rebound Sanders. Sanders will get it out quickly. Smith up that far side, spins to the rim, and the shot blocked by Vicentic, but a whistle and a foul. Looked like Vicentic got that ball pretty clean up top. We'll see if the foul goes on him or someone else. Nope, it is Vicentic who will pick up his fourth. There's a starter and a big guy inside 6'9", in foul trouble. 4 fouls with 7:32 left. He's going to have to come out, and he does, as Jalen Melvin checks back into the lineup. John Preston at the line. And apparently, I stand corrected. That's Preston at the scorer's table. Devin Smith is at the line and apparently will go out after making this free throw, which he does. And now John Preston checks in.
You got everybody right now? You good?
I think so. Don't quiz me on it, though. 64-47. The Shepherd advantage with 7:28 remaining in this one. Bobcat basketball and a whistle and a foul. Aguirre going to pick that one up as he was all the way out at the top of the key with a forearm right into the backside of Jalen Melvin. Hey, this is my paint. Get out of it.
Pretty easy one to call from that area of the court.
Yes. 18 seconds on that shot clock as the Bobcats work it around the perimeter. Larson on this right wing. Left-hand dribble to the top of the key. Gives down in the right corner to Clay Todd. Oh, his three rolled around the rim and out. Rebound to John Preston. Outlet to McKnight up that far sideline. McKnight slows it down in the Ram offensive end. Under 7 minutes to play in this one. 64-47. Shepherd in front. Lang in the lane. Gives to McKnight. Left wing three. Around the rim and out, no good. flying down the middle of the lane. That was Clay Todd to grab that rebound. He's going to give it off to Petrovic into the front court. Larson with it on the right side of the floor, drives hard to the basket. Leg up would not go, but hang on. We'll have a whistle and a foul, and that foul will go on the Rams. Emmanuel Aguirre. It wasn't a bad idea or even a bad job of trying to draw the charge. Matt, what was the issue? He's inside the circle.
Yep. The circle that popped up about, it's been 4 or 5 years now since they actually put that circle in. First foul shot up and good. It used to be an imaginary line that was up to the ref's discretion, and the NCAA finally did something right and said, let's not leave it up to the refs. Let's put a painted line down low, and that's where the issue came in right there.
Yep, so Marcus Larson at the line, knocks them both down, 64-49, that lead for Shepherd, and the Rams quickly into the front court. Aguirre in the lane, to his right, missed the shot, but tips it up and in. That'll be another offensive rebound on the putback basket, and the Rams lead at 66-49.
I think he fought through some contact right there. I could have easily seen a whistle and a foul, but a good job, like you said, getting those offensive boards. And I was going to say, there's the travel I've been looking for. That has to be a travel.
Luka Petrovic whistled with the travel, and the Rams get it on the turnover. 6:07 to play in this one.
3 jump stops and a hop.
McKnight lobbing far side to Lang. Bullet feed down low, trying to get it to Aguirre right under the basket. Threw it a little too high and too hard for the big fella. Off his hands, out of bounds.
Under 6 minutes left here in this game. And Shepherd, if I'm the Rams here, I'm waiting till there's at least 8 seconds left in the shot clock before I'm putting up any shots. Start setting up the offense between 15 and 12 seconds left on that shot clock. And then when you get down underneath 10 seconds to that 8-second mark, then you should be putting up your shots. But there should not be any shots taken with over 10 seconds left on the shot clock at this point in the game.
Dusan Vicentic has checked back into the lineup for the Bobcats out there with 4 fouls, but they need him on the floor as we're under 6 minutes left. Cut to the basket for Clay Todd, but the shot rolls off the iron, no good. They've been so good at those backdoor cuts, but here in the second half have not made as many. They've missed a few of those shots right around the rim. Checking back into the Ram lineup, Winston Burgess, as he goes pretty well head-to-head with the 6'9" Vicentic. Burgess at 6'6" for the Rams. Lang at the high post, gives to Sanders on the right wing. 3-ball and air ball too strong as the shot clock horn sounds. That's a violation.
And Lang's going to be mad at himself when he sees that film. He could have turned around and had a very easy 14-foot jump shot. But again, a good job taking the entire shot clock right there. You need to waste time at this point in the game more than you need the points.
66-49, that Ram advantage now, under 5 minutes left. Next dead ball, we should get a timeout. Ronstadt, 3-ball, right side, off the iron, rebound, John Preston. Hands it off to McKnight in the backcourt. Shepherd goes the other way. Giving to Thomas Lang across midcourt. And Wesleyan staying in the zone defense. They've pressured three-quarter court, half court with traps. But once the Rams get into the half court, the Bobcats have stayed in that zone all but a few minutes of man-to-man in the first half.
Apparently Coach Merriweather not overly pleased with what his team can do in man-to-man defense.
John Preston missing the shot. The rebound tipped out. The Bobcats the other way. Bronstad couldn't get it to go. Vicentic has the rebound and stripped of the ball as he went back up for the shot. That may have been Preston that knocked it away. Lang came out with it.
I think it was John Preston underneath that did. He never even got the ball above his chest going up for the shot. Good job by Preston down low.
Now the Rams again content to run some time off that clock. 66-49, the Ram advantage. Sanders near the left sideline to Lang, to McKnight on that right wing, penetrates into the lane, reverse leg up good off the glass. Sweet move.
Very sweet move, and to go with the right hand on the left side, a little up and under, reverse, not even facing the basket, and now we have a timeout by Wesleyan, probably acting also as our under 4 media timeout.
Yeah, definitely needed that break as the Rams begin to, continue to pull away. Let's take the break as well. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in this one. Shepherd leading West Virginia Wesleyan 68-49.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Back again at the Butcher Athletics Center. We're on the campus of Shepherd University, where the Shepherd Rams play host to the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats. Final season in this Mountain East Conference for Rams women's and men's basketball before heading to the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference next season.
And it'll be interesting because this is, I think, one of the, while the PSAC has good basketball teams, they're not top-notch, top-of-the-country basketball teams, or at least the quantity of the top 25 basketball teams that the Mountain East has. So it's one of those rare occurrences within the sports here at Shepherd where you're not necessarily improving with a new conference.
Low post right side, Vicentic working against the Rams. Burgess ended up having to get rid of the basketball. Petrovic with the lob, Vicentic with the shot. It comes off the glass in the rim, and the rebound to Thomas Lang. A nice job of a little give and go, curling around. Got the look they wanted, but just couldn't get the shot to fall.
And Matt, right now, Shepherd is in the driver's seat. It would take a catastrophic meltdown right now for Shepherd to lose this game as we inch closer to that 3-minute mark, 3:02 left on the game clock.
Luka Petrovic committing the personal foul. He's going to head to the bench after his second foul as Clay Todd checks back into the lineup. And back in for the Rams will come Kyle Daggett, who saw some time in that first half, spelling Winston Burgess.
Probably it on the night for Burgess again. 3 minutes now left on our game clock, and Shepherd comfortably in the lead, 68-49.
Left side of the floor, Daggett passes on the right wing to McKnight, and the three up and good. Derek McKnight hits another three. 71-49. Shepherd in command, 2:44 left.
Shepherd's been playing phenomenal basketball in this second half, but you blink a couple times, it's a 21-point game.
Clay Todd from the left side, his three off the front of the rim. John Preston grabs the rebound. 3 Rams all by themselves under the basket, grabbing at that rebound. Into the front court, McKnight. Gives it off to Lang, back to McKnight. Along that far sideline as he dribbles to his left, there's contact and a foul. This one should go on Edward Floor, who was trying to draw a charge but was a little late in getting there. That Floor is spelled F-L-O-H-R. Floor.
Thank you for the spelling lesson, Mr. Miller.
Anytime, man.
2:18 left in this one, 71-49. Shepherd comfortably in the lead here.
Crazy part is I spelled Floor, but I've yet to try to spell Petrovic or Vicentic for our listeners.
That comes in the post-game show.
Oh, okay. Lang in the left corner. Gives the pass out top to McKnight. On that far wing to John Preston. 3 on the way. Rattles in and out, no good. He's knocked down a couple of pretty big threes in this second half, and that one did everything but fall through the twine. Ball was halfway in. Vicentic out top. His 3 is good. Dusan Vicentic, 6'9", 225, drains the 3. 71-52, the Ram advantage, 140 and counting. In the left corner, 3 up for Kyle Daggett, but it's off the back rim, no good.
And that's a play Daggett's got it's an open 3. I get it. It's a guy that isn't going to get a ton of minutes a game, but you have a chance to wind this clock down. Nice
move by Vicentic, working against Daggett, and spins his way to his left to the rim and lays it in. 71-54, the Ram advantage. Daggett giving it off to Lang, left side 3, a little too strong, backside rebound going to Larson. Floor into the front court, sends the pass intended for Braden McGrew out there for the first time this evening. Off his hands, taken away by the Rams. Shepherd working into the front court. 55.5 left in this one.
A timeout on the floor. Coach Namlet calling a timeout to get a player in. Looks like entering the game is going to be Zane Kogan.
Cogan, another Eastern Panhandle player. The sophomore went to Spring Mills High School.
The sophomore runs 5'11", 180.
They get Cogan open in that right corner. He feeds down low to Daggett. Puts it on the floor in the paint, and they'll call him with a double dribble. 43.8 left.
71-54. Again, Shepherd's going on to win this ball game. It's just a matter of the last 40 seconds now running out on the game clock.
As they say, it's all cosmetic. Waiting to see what the final score will be. Vicentic stripped of the ball on the way up as Kyle Daggett got a hand in there, and then it looked like it went right off the head of Adam Horton, a 6'6 freshman out of Hillsville, Virginia, who has checked into the lineup for the Bobcats. Free throws coming for Vicentic. All right, are you ready? As the first free throw short off the rim, that's Vicentic. Vicentic.
You see, people can't see this, but you're cheating.
Yeah,
I wanted you to close your eyes and spell that.
I'm fortunate enough that I'm trying to say it right, let alone to spell it right from memory. Vicentic's second free throw. It's short off the rim as well. John Preston, the Ram, rebound. Shepherd will work into the front court. Noah Winbush on the floor now as well, 6'5 freshman out of Fairdale, West Virginia. Down to 20 seconds and counting. Lang with it out top. Giving on that far side to Preston. Preston to Smith. Skip pass across the floor. Cogan has it. Driving baseline left side. Floats it up with the right hand. And the tip attempt at the rim for John Preston. Off the mark, no good. Back the other way. 2 seconds, 1 second. Floor with a long three from the right side. Hits off the back iron. And this one is in the books as the Shepherd Rams will get the victory by the final score of 71-54. We'll come back with a brief post-game show. We'll run through some of the numbers, recap this one just a little bit, check out scores from around the Mountain East Conference, and tell you about our next broadcast as we put the finishing touches on today's Rams women's and men's doubleheader. Your final in the men's game, the Shepherd Rams 71, West Virginia Wesleyan 54.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We are back once again following a Shepherd Rams 71-54 win over West Virginia Wesleyan in the men's game. In the women's game, the Bobcats got the win by a 62-51 final. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Glad to have you aboard on this Wednesday night. The Rams improving to 5-1, now 2-1 in the Mountain East Conference, while the West Virginia Wesleyan Bobcats fall to 3-3 overall, now 1-2 in league play. Shepherd had the lead at the half, and Matt stretched that lead out in the second half. Really played well on both ends of the floor.
They did, and they gave West Virginia Wesleyan some opportunities to get back in the game. Wesleyan did not take advantage of them at all, and again, you blink a couple times from that 10-minute mark to about the 5-minute mark, all of a sudden it's a 21-point game for Shepherd, and they played really well the entire game. There really wasn't a point in this game where you thought Shepherd was ever out of this, and once they took the lead, you never really thought they were going to give it up. It was one of those games I didn't think they would necessarily win by the margin. They did, but you never had the feeling that Shepherd wasn't in control of what they were doing, and once the second half came, they really settled into what they wanted to do offensively, and it showed.
Yeah, they worked the ball around very nicely against that zone defense that the Bobcats pretty much applied the entire game. Only a short stretch in that first half did they go from one timeout to another timeout, switching up from the zone to man, and then went right back to the zone and have stayed with that zone defense all throughout the course of this game. And Shepherd found those open spots in the zone, and/or they flooded one side of the zone, and/or they skipped the ball the other direction and found wide open shots.
Another and/or?
No more.
Now, one thing, and you mentioned this as the game got later into the second half, you got to wonder what the man defense for Wesleyan looks like. Is it that bad they couldn't have switched? Because they were getting picked apart in the zone. And while they did keep Shepherd below their season average, again, Shepherd came into this game averaging over 80 points at 81 points a game. Wesleyan kept them to 71. So I guess you have to look at that as somewhat of a success defensively for your team. But offensively, I think Wesleyan lived and died by the three, and I'm not sure that they quite had the three-point stats to be the kind of team that would live and die by the three.
Well, and as a result, when they weren't knocking down those threes, we saw a lot of times where Shepherd had 2 or 3 players under the basket all by themselves, pulling down rebounds without really even being contested because of those outside shots for the Bobcats. In the end, the Shepherd Rams get the victory and move to 5-1 again, 2-1 in the Mountain East Conference. West Virginia Wesleyan 3-3, now 1-2 in league play. We're expecting the stats coming here in just a moment. So, Matt, let's take one more timeout, and when we come back, we'll wrap up our broadcast with a look at the stats. We'll see what else is going on around the Mountain East Conference, and then we'll set you up for our next broadcast, which will be on December 8th. More on that when we come back. You're watching Shepherd Rams basketball on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us. When you're hurting.
Back one more time here at the Butcher Athletics Center. Along with Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. Shepherd Rams splitting this doubleheader as the women fell in Game 1. In Game 2, it was the Ram men's team getting the victory, 71-54. Matt, as we take a look at some of the numbers from this one, let's start with those shooting totals. Shepherd shooting 46% as they made 28 of 61 shots, including 41% from beyond the arc, 11 of 27. Just 7 free throws tonight for the Rams, 4 of 7 for 57% from the line. West Virginia Wesleyan shot 40% as they made 21 of 53 shots, just 30% from beyond the arc, 9 of 30, and 30% from the line as they made only 3 out of 10 free throws. Look at the rebounding totals. Shepherd wins there 44-25 and 13-3 on the offensive glass.
Does it surprise you?
No.
After watching this game, that number does not surprise me one bit. What does surprise me for the game, 45%, or I guess 46% from the field. It seemed like it would be a lot more than that. I thought Shepherd shot the ball extremely well tonight. I figured they'd be up in the 50% range.
Well, they were 52% in that second half after shooting 41% in that first half, and maybe that's what's sticking out in your mind. Shepherd did turn it over 12 times to only 8 for West Virginia Wesleyan, but frankly not bad considering some of that pressure that the Bobcats sought to put on. Let's look at some individual numbers. Leading the way for the Rams, Winston Burgess with 17, Thomas Lang 14, 11 for Derek McKnight, and 10 for John Preston. 4 Rams go in double figures. Meanwhile, Dusan Vicentic had 17 with Clay Todd adding 11, the 2 players in double figures to pace West Virginia Wesleyan. 9 points for Luka Petrovic. So there you go. We'll look at just some of the numbers from this game here this evening. All right, let's see. Do you know what's going on elsewhere around the Mountain East Conference? Let's take a look and see. We gave you those women's finals earlier. That included the Shepherd Rams women's game in which Wesleyan got their first victory of the season, 62-51, as they knocked off the Rams earlier. Shepherd falling to, 3-3, 1-2 in the Mountain East Conference.
Again, let's start with some finals in the women's games. It was a upset, 98-77, Fairmont State over Glenville State. Glenville State seen as one of the best women's basketball teams in the country. It was UVA-Wise over West Virginia State, 87-84. West Liberty over Urbana, 95-56. It was Notre Dame over Wheeling Jesuit, 66-48. And Charleston over Concord, 82-57. That rounds out the women's side of the Mountain East Conference games that have gone on today. Looking at some of the men's scores, UVA-Wise up big over West Virginia State. That came just about halfway through the second half, 74-66. It is Glenville State and Fairmont State, a tight game down in the second half. There, Fairmont State with the lead, 76-73. It's Notre Dame taking on Wheeling Jesuit, 79-69. Notre Dame's going to go on for the win in that one. Charleston's taking on Concord this evening. That game tied at the end of regulation, going to go into overtime, 86 apiece. And Urbana and West Liberty, 93-69. The Hilltoppers going to go on for the win in that game. 2:08 left in the second half of that action. All right. Special guest here at the end of this broadcast, men's head coach Justin Amlick. First of all, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the win. Good win for you guys tonight against what looked like a pretty evenly matched opponent coming into this game.
You know, I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone today, and I told him I think the league's going to be tough from a standpoint that, like, 3 through 9, it can go either way. I just think there's a lot of parity. And so I think, like, when you look at towards the end of the year, like, the team that's going to jump and be in that top 3 or 4 is going to be the team that can get some sweeps. You know, I thought coming into this game, their length and their zone, I was really concerned about. And they just run their Princeton offense. They just keep on. I told our guys 2 days ago, we have to defend the entire possession. And, you know, I think we really did a good job of that, both, you know, I think defending them. I was really happy with our defensive effort, and then offensively, like, handling their zone and getting some good looks.
You mentioned handling their zone. Are you surprised that they didn't at any point in this game switch to man-to-man coverage?
No, I mean, that's what they do. You know, I think when I've watched them on film, they'll stay in zone. You know, they kind of did it there toward the end where they kind of started trapping a little bit, like very similar to what Virginia Union does out of their zone. But, you know, that's what they are. They're going to be. They're going to be a zone team. Make or miss, they're going to play zone the entire time. You know, and a team like that is trying to control the tempo. You know, they're trying to keep it a close possession game, you know, the whole game so they have a chance to win. You know, when there's less possessions, you know, anything can happen. You know, it's very different in our league. You know, our league is high scoring. It's up and down. There's a lot more possessions in our, you know, generally. But when you play a game like that with a lot fewer possessions, you know, you got to make sure you get a little cushion because if you get there towards the end, like anything can go, it can go either way.
Also, defensively for you guys, offensively for the Bobcats, they had the size on you guys underneath. They started 4 guys over 6'6". You surprised they didn't use that size inside a little more?
You know, I mean, they run their stuff. You know, he didn't post up Vicentic in the first half very much, you know, and in the second half he posted him up a couple of times. He went at Winston, and he scored a couple of times. But, you know, I was willing to trade those 2s instead of 3s. You know, coming into this game, I did not want Bronstead to go off. If you give that kid any space, you know, he can easily go 6 for 9, 7 for 10. And I thought Malik Sanders did a really good job. I was telling Malik, you know, the 2 days leading into this game, like, you got to use your length. You got to close out on him hard, make him put the ball on the floor. And Malik did a really good job on him. I mean, he was the one kid I didn't want because I thought, you know, 23, I'm getting their European names mixed up. Which one is Petrovic.
Yeah,
Petrovic.
Luka.
Yeah, Luka. Luka's got some wiggle. I've liked him since he's been in the league. He's got some wiggle. He can get in the lane, and I thought Vincent's a good big guy. So, Bronstead was that third guy I didn't really want to go off, and we did a good job on him.
We talked a couple weeks ago, it wasn't the Charleston game, it was the game before, about your bench and how deep your bench seems to be this year. And you said they weren't where you wanted them to be at that point in the season. How do you see that bench now? I
liked them tonight. I thought our bench was great. I told the team, I thought it was a great team effort, both offensively and defensively. I was really happy with our bench play. I thought, Emmanuel Iguayere had a really good couple minutes there in the first half, and in the second half he scored some buckets for us. I thought Cam Stevens was good. We talked last week about him playing the point guard. He just being that point guard, he can look when they're three-quarter pressing us, he can look over it. He can find people. He's such a good passer. And John Preston, he's getting better every day. He's going to get more confidence. He's a good one. So we're getting there. Kyle Daggett, we're trying to got him in a little bit today. So that's going to be a work in progress. With us, you never know what the matchups are going to be, I talk to you in those teams, like some games it might be better to have, one of our guys that come off the bench play more minutes, and so if you get those guys coming off the bench with confidence, that's going to make us a better basketball team.
5-1 through the first 6. How important is that record now that you have to go on the road in the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I put a lot of pressure on myself because we had the 6 home games to start the year. I put a lot of pressure on myself because it was so key. Like if we want to really contend in this thing, we had to do well. We're sitting at 5-1. It feels pretty good. My assistant coach has been telling the guys now, he's like, I want to see how you guys play on the road, and we're going to have our chance on Saturday. Glenville State, much different than this team. They're going to spread us out. They're going to jack it up. They'll shoot it really quick. And they have been a thorn in our side of this basketball program since 13-14. They have I've lost some tough games to Glenville in the last 4 or 5 years, and it's been tough. And I told them, and they play so well in their building. So this is going to be a really tough test for us on Saturday.
Real quickly before you go, just look at this Mountain East Conference. Now through the first 6 or 7 games for everybody through this conference.
Yeah.
Are you surprised by anything? Are you surprised by how well Notre Dame's playing, or the fall off from Wheeling Jesuit? I know under a new coaching staff with the transition.
Yeah, I'm not. Wheeling Jesuit's going to have a transition because they got a new coach. They lost some players. That's just that happens in college basketball. But I'm not surprised with Notre Dame. They got Voorhees back. Voorhees missed last year. He was an All-American 2 years ago. Medical redshirt last year. He's back. Again, I come back to it 3 through 9. I can just go down the line. Voorhees for Notre Dame, Tommy Bolte for Concord. We're going to Glenville State. There is none. We did not match. I don't feel like we match up with West Virginia State at all. And they came in here our house and beat us. Charleston is very good. That was a good win for us. So, it's going to be a battle. And I think that first weekend, when everybody in the region's playing each other, the Mountain East was so much better. I think we were 17-5 against the PSAC and something against the CIAA, and so it's a good year. It's tough because I keep coming back to that 3 through 9. It's not as tough in that fact that we don't have 3 teams in the top 25. So it's a little bit different animal, but it's doable for us. I think it's doable for us, but we got to just take things one day at a time.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win and good luck at Glenville on Saturday.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you.
All right, Shepherd head coach Justin Namlick. Again, the Rams 5-1 after the win tonight, as I welcome in my broadcast partner, Matt Miller. Matt, good to talk to Coach Namlick after this game. And 5-1 after 6 games. You really can't ask for much more, especially with these home games.
Yeah, absolutely. As he mentioned, you mentioned earlier as well, this is a tough league to win in, especially on the road. That means when you are at home, you have to take care of business, and this men's team is doing that now, 5-1, including 2-1 in the league.
All right, I think that's going to do it for us here today. You want to set us up for our next broadcast?
There it is. It'll be on Saturday, December the 8th. It's 2 o'clock for the women's game, 4 o'clock for the men's game, and that will be here at the Butcher Center on a Saturday afternoon, a very special day. It's a Toys for Tots day. They ask you to bring one unwrapped toy, and they will give you a ticket into the game for that donation, and then that donation will be given to Toys for Tots. It's also a camper day for all of the young people in the area, students in the area who took part in summer camps here with the Rams women's and men's basketball programs, and as well, I understand it will be Women's Alumni Day. So a lot of activities, going to be a great day. Come on down, and if you can't come down, we'll have it for you on TV 10 and WRNR TV on YouTube. YouTube. That will wrap it up for us today. For Matt Crawford, I'm Matt Miller. We remind you our final scores in the women's game. It was West Virginia Wesleyan beating Shepherd 62-51 in the nightcap. Shepherd gets the win over Wesleyan 71-54 in the men's game. Until next time, so long, everyone.